कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन
यमुना तीरावनचारि
यमुना तीरावनचारि
यमुना तीरावनचारि
यमुना तीरावनचारि
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
जय गांधर्व का गिरिधारी गौरा हरि
जय Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari
Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Devi Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Devi
Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Devi Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Devi
Jaya Nitai Gausundar Jaya Nitai Gausundar Nitai Gausundar Jaya Nitai Gausundar
Jaya Nitai Gausundar Jaya Nitai Gausundar Nitai Gausundar Jaya Nitai Gausundar
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol
Hari Bol
Hari Bol
Hari Bol
Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody to this Bhagavad Gita class. So today we will be having verse number 10 from chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. And before going to that, let's read the verse and then translation and purport. And then we will be going deep into it and discuss. We'll also discuss about the summary, about the already the verses which have been discussed, and then we'll come to this particular verse. So first, let's start with this particular verse. Let's recite the verse. Let me recite, and then you can repeat after me. Okay. Sahayajnah praja sushtva
Sahayagyaha Praja Srishtva
purovacha prajapatihi
Purovacha Prajapatihi
anena pravishyatvam
Anena Pravishyatvam
esha vostoishtakamadhuk.
Esha Voshvishta Kamaduk
Okay, so let's go to the translation and purport. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation." Purport. The material creation by the Lord of creatures is a chance offered to the conditioned souls to come back home, back to Godhead. All the living entities within the material creation are conditioned by the material nature because of their forgetfulness of their relationship to Vishnu or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vedic principles are to help us understand this eternal relation as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedescha sarve ahameva vidya. The Lord says that the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Him. In the Vedic hymns it is said, Patim Vishwasyatmeshwaram. Therefore, the Lord of the living entities is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, second canto 4th chapter, verse number 20. Srila Shukadev Goswami describes the Lord as Pati in so many ways. Shriyah Pati Yajnah Pati Prajapati Dhiyam Pati Lokapati Dharapati Pati Gatish Chandhaka Vishni Satvatam Prasidam Me Bhagavan Satam Patihi. The Prajapati is Lord Vishnu, and he is the Lord of all living creatures, all worlds, and all beauties, the protector of everyone. The Lord created this material world to enable the conditioned souls to learn how to perform yajnas, sacrifices, for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in the material world they can live very comfortably without anxiety, and after finishing the present material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. That is the whole program for the conditioned soul. By performance of yajna, the conditioned souls gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respects. In the age of Kali, the Sankirtana Yajna, the chanting of the names of God, is recommended by the Vedic scriptures. And this transcendental system was introduced by Lord Chaitanya for the deliverance of all men in this age. Sankirtana Yajna and Krishna consciousness go well together. Lord Krishna, in his devotional form as Lord Chaitanya, is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, chapter 5, verse number 32, as follows, with special reference to the Sankirtana Yajna. Krishna Varnam Tvasha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajne Sankirtana Prayai Yajatihi Sumedhasha. Translation: in this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates, by performance of Sankirtana Yajna. Other yajnas prescribed in the Vedic literatures are not easy to perform in this age of Kali, but the Sankirtana Yajna is easy and sublime for all purposes, as recommended in the Bhagavad Gita also, chapter 9, verse number 14. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvashe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome everybody to this amazing Bhagavad Gita class, which happens every weekday and Monday to Friday, and we take one verse of Bhagavad Gita every day. And it's very amazing to discuss Bhagavad Gita because it gives us, it makes our intelligence stronger, and we can actually understand the purpose of life when we read Bhagavad Gita regularly on a regular basis and achieve the purpose of life or the goal of life. So let's deep dive into this verse, chapter 3, verse number 10. So we will discuss, it will be a short discussion. We will be having three topics based on the purport of Srila Prabhupada. So the first topic will be why Krishna has created this world, why this material world exists, right? This is a question of many, that why this world is existing. So we'll try to understand why Lord has created this world and how we came here. Then the second thing we will discuss is what is the purpose of life, okay? And the third topic will be how to achieve that purpose of life or goal of life. So these are the three topics. Let me reiterate it over again. First topic will be why Krishna has created this material world. Second, what is the purpose of this human life basically, and how to attain or how to achieve that purpose of human life. So these are the three topics. Now, before coming to this verse and these three topics, let us just revise a little bit, because not everybody comes every day in the class. So people who are coming sincerely or regularly, it's good, they know, but someone may come first time. So we can just have a quick review over the previous verses. So in the chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, it will be a short review so that we can understand the context and a link between this verse and the previous verses. So chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, what is there in that? So Arjuna tells Krishna, I'll just in short I'll tell. So Arjuna tells Krishna, or he asks Krishna, requests Krishna, that Krishna, I want to see, they are on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and now there are two armies, Kauravas and the Pandavas. Now Arjuna wants to see, okay, I want to see who all are there in the opposite army, right? With whom we want to fight, we have to fight. So then Krishna takes the chariot in between the two armies. Now then Krishna tells Arjuna that now you can see who is there in the opposite party. Arjuna starts seeing. He finds that in the opposite army there are his relatives, like his brother-in-laws, his brothers, grandfather, and many other relatives. So then Arjuna becomes bewildered, and he gives various reasons. That firstly, he was very confident. Arjuna tells Krishna that so Arjuna was ready to fight. He was ready with his bow and arrows, and he was ready to fight. He was very, very confident. And then he tells Krishna to move the chariot or bring the chariot in between the two armies. And now, when Krishna brings the chariot and Arjuna is seeing the opposite party, so he is seeing his relatives. Okay. Then the same Arjuna, who was very, very confident and was a great warrior, he becomes completely bewildered, completely depressed, completely disturbed. Why? Because he is seeing that my relatives are standing in the opposite army, right? And he gives various reasons to Krishna that why I will not fight. And it is mentioned in the first chapter that what is the situation of Arjuna at that time. That his senses are drying up, his whole body is trembling, and so his mind is not steady, right? So he's completely disturbed, completely. The same Arjuna who is a great warrior, who is the greatest warrior, and was very confident always, in the war, in the fight, and he was confident in this fight also at the starting, but now he's completely depressed. right? He gives various reasons that, let's say I win the kingdom. I'm not going to detail, but in short, that he says to Krishna that, let's say we win the kingdom. Okay, we kill everybody and we get the kingdom. Now, who will be there to enjoy, right? For whom when we get the kingdom, there should be someone with whom we can share this happiness, right? If nobody is there, then what is the point? It's better I'll not fight, and I'll not use my weapons. Let them kill me, and then I don't want to have a kingdom and get this happiness, so-called happiness. I'll not be able to enjoy. Then Arjuna also gives some other reasons like my elders are also there, right? In the opposite army, my grandfather, my my uncles, my teacher. So how can I kill them? How can we kill them? If I kill the elders, then so much sinful reactions will come. We will incur so many sins. So I don't want to kill. I don't want to fight. And then other reasons Arjuna gives is, if let's say we kill all the people, then in the family the role of elders is very, very important. Right? In the Vedic civilization, the elders used to play a very important role in the families. They used to read scriptures, they used to know what is the purpose of life, and they used to guide the whole family in that way. But now if all the elders are gone from the family, then who will be there to guide the families, right? And now the families will be engaged in irreligious activities, and in that way the woman will be polluted, and there will be unwanted children, unwanted progeny, right? And then there will be havoc and chaos in the society. So whole dynasty will be destructed, and there will be havoc. The whole civilization will become demoniac and irreligious. So it all starts with fighting and killing. So I don't want to fight, I want to kill them. Okay. I will be the cause, or we will be the cause of destruction of the whole dynasty. Now, so Arjuna gives all these various reasons, and now he's completely depressed. And he's in the first chapter he's saying that no, I don't want to fight, and I don't know any clue, right? I'm completely bewildered. Then the second chapter, Krishna, then Arjuna, requests Krishna that please guide me. I'm completely depressed, completely bewildered. Then Krishna first smiles in between the two armies. This is the first thing which Krishna does. So Krishna's smile is very beautiful, and it's all encapturing, right? And yeah, after that Krishna starts speaking. So Krishna starts with an analytical study or analysis between the body and the soul. That, oh Arjuna, you are seeing your relatives? No, they're not your relatives. No, you are seeing them on the bodily platform. That he is my uncle, he is my grandfather, they are my brothers. No, actually, all the living entities are spirit souls, and spirit soul never dies. It's just like, just an example Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita, it's the second chapter. Just like when we change dresses, right? When let's say tomorrow I will wear another dress because this dress will be contaminated. Or when a particular dress becomes useless, so we change the dress, right? The same body, but dresses are changing. Similarly, if we apply this concept here on the body and soul, so Krishna tells that the soul is same, but the body is like a dress. The bodies are like different dresses. So we have got this body now, and then when this body will die, the soul will get another body. Simple, right? So it's like changing of the dresses. So there is no need to have grief and get bewildered by actually looking over everybody as bodies, right? Because anyways the soul is eternal and the body is temporary. So all these people were existing, Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter. All these people who you are seeing, even me and even you, right? all they were existing before also, now also they are existing, and after this also they will be existing forever. So soul never dies. Okay. Uh, so this is an analytical study, and then Krishna also explains about characteristics of soul and characteristics of body. How body is temporary, but soul is eternal. It never dies. Soul can never be cut by any sword or weapon. A soul can never be dried by wind, because wind, the swords, and all these things are material, and soul is completely spiritual. So both are opposite elements. So they cannot affect, the material things cannot affect the soul, right? So that is a thing. So now Krishna is giving very nice analytical study or analysis between body and soul, so that he can make Arjuna realize that don't think on the bodily platform. Try to realize that every living entity is a soul. No, he's eternal. He never dies. He's permanent. That's the foundation of Bhagavad Gita. So we can see this in the second chapter only. Krishna sets this foundation. So in the spiritual life, this is a foundation. To understand that I'm not the body. I'm not the body. I'm spirit. So when this foundation is strong, then the building will be strong, right? For a long building to be constructed, the foundation should be very, very strong. It should be deep properly, right? It should be properly deep and more deep. So the foundation should be very, very strong. So this is the foundation of spiritual life or Krishna consciousness. That I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul. This understanding is a preliminary understanding of Krishna consciousness. Then Krishna also, again, in the second chapter only, he moves further, and he also tells Arjuna that let's also discuss about our activities, because a soul can never be idle. A soul is always active. A soul wants to do something, wants to be engaged in something. That's the nature of the soul. So Krishna is talking about the activities, and he tells Arjuna, in brief we are discussing in the second chapter, that we should not be attached, whatever activities we are doing, our duties, our prescribed duties, we should not be attached, or Arjuna, you should not be attached to the fruits of those activities. This is very important, because when we are attached to the fruits, naturally we will be disturbed. And a person who is not attached to the fruits, Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna that do your duty. Krishna tells to Arjuna that it's not like you don't have to do your duty. Do your duty, your prescribed duty. So you are a Kshatriya, so your duty is to fight. Even actually, so Krishna was giving reason to Arjuna that, see, if I kill my elders, I will incur sin. Right? That will be a sin. But actually Krishna tells that no. So after setting this foundation that, see, you are thinking about bodies, right? You'll be killing the bodies. No, they are eternal, they are souls. So do your duty. Your duty of a Kshatriya is to fight, and fight to win. So do your duty very, very nicely. But don't be attached to the fruits. Don't think that you are the doer and you are the enjoyer of the fruits. Don't try to enjoy the results. Fruits means results. Result of activities or our duties. So this is the foundation Krishna sets. And so Krishna tells that we should not be disturbed. A steady person is never disturbed by temporary situations, respect, disrespect, happiness, distress. He's always steady. He's always focused on his duty, and then he's very clear that I'm not the enjoyer of the results of my activities. Krishna is the enjoyer. Okay? He is the Supreme Lord. He is the enjoyer. I'm just a servant. So this is the foundation which Krishna sets. Now still Arjuna doesn't really understand this completely. He's thinking that now in the third chapter in the beginning, Arjuna asks Krishna a question. That, oh Krishna, you are telling that that intelligence is better than fruitive work. Fruitive work means we are doing some activity and we are attached to the results. That is called fruitive work, fruitive activities. So Arjuna is asking Krishna a question that, oh Krishna, you only told me that intelligence is better, Buddhi Yoga is better than being engaged in the fruitive activity, like doing some activity and attached to the results. Better than this is intelligence, acting in, understanding the right thing, right? Intelligence, buddhi yoga. So then he's again not able to understand. That's why he's asking this question to Krishna. That please explain to me. I'm not able to understand. Should I give up everything? Should I give up my duties? That let's say I have some duties to perform. Should I give up everything? Should I retire and then sit idly? Is it recommended, or what should I do? So that is a confusion of Krishna of Arjuna. Then Krishna very nicely clears to Arjuna that it's very practical. The Bhagavad Gita is very practical. So Krishna tells here in the 3rd chapter. Now we have come to the 3rd chapter. This is verse number 10. Today's verse is verse number 10, and now we are starting chapter 3. Now Krishna is starting to speak again after this question of Arjuna. This one, first question, right? First verse of 3rd chapter. Do you think, if you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work, why are you making me engage in fight? Because let's say it's very practical, right? If I try to engage all my senses in fighting, then naturally I'll be attached. I'll be completely absorbed in that activity. So I'm not able to understand. You're telling me to fight, and then also not attached to the results. How is it possible? I'm not able to understand. Should I not fight, or if I fight? How to not get attached to the fruits, all these confusions Arjuna has. Then Krishna starts speaking. But the very nice thing here we can learn actually in our lives, that when we are completely disturbed and bewildered, sometimes it happens, we are completely disturbed and bewildered, right? We are not able to use our intelligence. We should always approach a bona fide authority. This is the basis of spiritual life. When we approach a bona fide authority, it's like we are like in an ocean, an endless ocean, and we are trying to swim and cross the ocean. How can we cross the endless ocean, right? So we are like in an endless ocean of confusions and bewilderment. How can we cross that at that time? At that time, it's very difficult to use our intelligence and all. So we should approach a bona fide authority who is spiritual authority, who is well established in Krishna consciousness. He can actually pull us up. So it's like you are swimming, trying to swim in the ocean, which is endless, and you are not able to do that. You are not able to cross the ocean. Then that spiritual authority, what he will do? He will just like helicopter, right? When a tsunami happens or floods come. So people are like trying to cross. There's water everywhere. So and the water is also deep. So what they do is like some boats come, or sometimes helicopter also come and picks up a particular person who is drowning, right? So if we are drowning in the ocean of confusions and bewilderment, and we are not able to use our intelligence, we should approach a bona fide authority. He'll be doing this task. He will be just picking us up, right? It's very easy, right? Pick us up and then cross and put us in a safe zone, safe situation. So it's very important. This is a very nice learning. We should have a mentor who is a spiritual authority, and we should always take guidance from that spiritual authority. Now Krishna starts speaking, and he says, now see how practical Bhagavad Gita is. Krishna says that not merely by abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, and nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. So Krishna is trying to say here that just by abstaining from work, just by giving up some work, or giving up or taking up renunciation, renounced order of life, it doesn't mean that that person will achieve liberation or will attain perfection, or he will be freed from all sinful reactions. No, just by giving up our duties or prescribed duties. Why? Now the question is why? Because Krishna gives the reason. It's very practical, very analytical. Now Krishna in the next verse, in the 5th verse, tells, everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of nature. Now what is modes of nature? Just a quick summary. Modes, so we have nature, and the nature acts through 3 modes. So first mode is mode of goodness. In Sanskrit or Hindi we call it Sattva Guna. We might have heard about it. Then second mode is mode of passion, and in Sanskrit or Hindi we call it Rajogun, Rajas. And then the third mode is mode of ignorance, or we call it Tamogun, Tamas. So these three modes are there. The whole nature is acting through these three modes, everywhere. Our bodies are affected by these three modes, our mind is affected by these three modes, this mat is affected by these three modes. There is some combination of the three modes, and everything is governed by these three modes. Everything and everyone. So now Krishna is telling, see, everyone is helpless. Helplessly they are forced. They are forced to act according to the. So what happens is, the soul is taking up different bodies, one lifetime after another. So we have got this human body now. We were in animal bodies also earlier. We were in bird bodies also earlier. We were in plant bodies also earlier. So when we are in a particular body, we get a conditioning of that particular body. So our mind gets conditioned, right? We develop particular way of thinking and acting. So now we have come to this human form of life. So we have acquired so many different types of conditioning from so many lives. Now every person, according to how they acted in different lifetimes, they have a particular nature according to these three modes. So he is forced to act in that way. What can we do? So Krishna is telling that I have a particular nature, you have a particular nature, you have a particular nature. We all are forced to act in that way, right? Some person may be in mode of goodness, predominantly mode of goodness is there in that combination of three modes. So he will be very peaceful, very calm. He will be attracted towards acquiring more knowledge. Someone will be in mode of passion. He'll always be he'll be having so many desires and so many things. And somebody will be affected mostly by mode of ignorance. He will be feeling sleepy, lazy, confused in life. What am I doing? So basically, all these are different natures according to combinations of modes. So one is helpless to act. Forcefully he has to act. We can't very easily change our nature at one moment. So here Krishna is telling that, so now, let's say we have a nature, and if we cut off that nature, just like we have a particular nature by which we act, and we cut it off suddenly, what will happen? We'll become restless. We'll be disturbed completely. I have a certain way of behaving and certain way of acting, right? According to the nature I have. If I cut it off, if I artificially try to cover it up or try to restrict it, it will be very difficult for me to actually act. So that's what Krishna is telling here. So what will happen if, let's say, a person tries to control his senses artificially? He tries to control his tongue. No, I will not speak, or I will not eat some good food items or whatever, artificially. He does not have determination to do that, but artificially is doing that, or his nature is not allowing that. So what will happen is, even if he's externally he's trying to control the senses, but his mind will always be thinking about the sense objects. Oh, I want to enjoy. No, I don't want to enjoy. I have to control my senses. Again, the mind will be going towards that sense object. I want to enjoy. Because nature is forcing that person to act in that way. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that, see, we cannot restrain our senses artificially. Rather, now Krishna will come to that point. Then what we should do? If we should not artificially try to control the senses artificially, this is very important to understand. We should control the senses, but not artificially. Okay? There is a way to control the senses. So, then Krishna will come to this point in the next verses, that on the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. Let's say he is comparing two persons. One person has renounced everything. He has given up everything, his activities, his duties, and he is trying to artificially control the senses. And another person is actually performing his duty. He is sincerely performing his duty, but he is not attached to the results of the activity. And he is actually acting for the pleasure of the Lord. This is the crux. Next verse, Krishna tells. Text number 9. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Now this is the crux actually. You need to understand this. Otherwise, work causes bondage in the material world. O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, means for Lord's satisfaction, for Lord Vishnu's satisfaction, for Lord Krishna's satisfaction. And in that way, you'll always remain free from bondage. So, Krishna is not telling to give up everything and artificially trying to renounce everything and trying to control the senses. But Krishna is telling Arjuna, or recommending Arjuna, that perform your duty, engage your senses. Don't try to artificially cut off. Engage your senses. But how to engage the senses? This is important. Work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Do your work. Do your duty, prescribed duty. But offer all the results to Vishnu. And do it as a devotional service to the Lord. This is the crux. For the satisfaction of the Lord. Whatever result comes, He is the enjoyer. I am not the enjoyer. Don't be attached to the fruits or results. This is what Krishna is telling here. Right? It is very practical because we are helpless. We have a nature. If we try to cut off that nature artificially, we'll be disturbed. Our mind will be constantly thinking internally. Our mind will be thinking about enjoying because we are artificially doing that. Artificially, externally, we are artificially controlling the senses, but internally, our mind is still hovering over the sense objects to enjoy. So this artificial renunciation Krishna is not is condemning here, but rather what Krishna is recommending is do your prescribed duty, engage all your senses, don't try to artificially control, engage the senses productively in the satisfaction of the Lord, for the satisfaction of the Lord, as a sacrifice to Vishnu. This is the conclusion. Now let's come to the verse of today's verse number 10. We can see the purport, how Srila Prabhupada is nicely explained. Now we had 3 topics in the starting I told. First topic we'll discuss is why Krishna has created, why the Lord has created this material world. Why? We should ask this question. And then, what is the purpose of, why am I existing? And what is the purpose of this human life particularly? What is the purpose? Third question is, how to achieve that purpose or that goal of human life. Now first question, first topic, why Krishna has created this material world? So in the Vedic scriptures it is explained that because we are envious of the Lord, we were envious of the Lord, we wanted to enjoy independently of the Lord because Lord is the master of everything, Lord is the proprietor of everything, He is the controller of all the controllers, He is the original person from whom everything is coming. Whole creation, all the living entities, everything is coming from the Lord. So He is the master, He is the proprietor of everything. But if we want to enjoy separately without understanding this fact that He is the actual enjoyer, He is the supreme enjoyer, I am not the enjoyer. I am meant to serve Him. If we don't recognize this fact, if we want to enjoy independently, separately, so we come to this material world. Scriptures tell this. And then Krishna creates this material world to again remind us. So this material world is like a place of transformation, just like jail. So why do we have jails in a city? Can you answer? What is the purpose of jail or a prison house?
Control the crime.
To control the crime. Okay. Any other answer?
To punish the guilty.
To punish the guilty. So what happens when we give punishment over a period of time and that person is staying? So do you think that some people will be feeling some transformation, right? Or they will be feeling guilty. Actually, they will be feeling guilty, and after some time, they may also request the authorities that no, I have realized my mistake. I will be a good citizen from now onwards. Please release me from this jail, right? So basically, the purpose of jail is transformation. Obviously, punishment is there to punish the guilty because they have committed a crime or some act which has not to be performed, should not be performed. But actual goal of prison house is to, sometimes it happens, right, that some prisoners are released because they realize their mistakes, and they will never commit mistakes again. or they realize this fact and then they're relieved. Okay, no, he has realized, now he has transformed. So we can see prison house like a place of transformation, where people's hearts can change. Right? So similarly, this material world is like a jail because we are all caught up in these bodies. Right? We are spirit souls, but we are caught up or we are bound by these bodies, limited bodies. So it's like a jail. We are in this jail, but this material world, and this material world is like a place of transformation. So that's why Krishna creates this, so that again the living entities who have come from spiritual world to this material world, forgetting Krishna, forgetting the eternal relationship, who am I, who is Krishna, who is Lord, and what is my relationship, forgetting all this, trying to enjoy separately, covered by illusion, he has come to this material world. So Krishna again wants to claim all those living entities. Oh my dear living entity, please come back to me. Please come back to me. That's why Krishna appears himself, to attract the living entities. He appears in so many other incarnations to attract the living entities, to again claim the living entities, to again remind them that you are my dear living entity. Why have you come here? Please come back to me. You are suffering here. Please come back to me. You'll be eternally happy. So that's why Krishna has created this material. Here Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. The first line only. The material creation by the Lord of creatures, Vishnu or Krishna, is a chance offered to the conditioned souls to come back home, back to Godhead. So this is the purpose of creation. To claim, to remind all the living entities that please come back home, back to Godhead. Back to Godhead means to the spiritual kingdom, to my eternal abode. So this is the purpose of the creation of this material world. It's a place of transformation. Now coming to the second question. Why are we existing? What is the purpose of this human life? Again, we have covered already, but still let's discuss this. That because we have come to this material world and we are today in the class, in our Srimad Bhagavatam class, senior devotee was explaining that how we have crossed over all the different species of life. There are 84 lakh species of life, and we have to go through all the species of life till we reach the human form of life. We have to go through all the. So we were there in the pig bodies, we were there in the microbes bodies, we were there in the plant bodies. We means I was there in the plant body, I was there in the dog's body, I was there in the cat's body, I was there in all the bodies, birds' bodies, reptiles and everything. Then I reached the human form of life. Now what is the purpose? We can see now it's a very nice observation, and scriptures tell us. When we see the animals around, can they ever think that why am I suffering? I want to get rid of all this suffering. What is the purpose of life? Can the animals think? What do you think? The animals cannot think. That the scriptures tell that animals are always engaged in 4 types of activities. First, eating. They are always thinking about these 4 activities only, all the time. They cannot think higher than this. Eating, how to eat, where to find my food. Sleeping, where to sleep, how to sleep. Obviously, we think more more sophisticatedly. And I need to have a mattress, nice clean bed, and all those things. A nice bedroom. But animals obviously sleep anywhere. But still, I've seen dogs that they clean their places and they sleep. So they're always thinking about eating, sleeping, and how to mate, enjoyments, mating and defending. How to protect myself from all the dangers. That's it. They cannot think higher than this. But a human intelligence is so developed that Krishna has given this intelligence to us to actually understand this fact that now we can actually above these 4 activities we can have a higher intelligence and we can ask questions. Why am I suffering? I don't want to suffer. I've seen that since my birth I'm suffering. Obviously we don't remember the previous births, but I'm suffering from so many births. But I don't want to suffer. I want to come out of this suffering. How can I get permanent happiness? I want to be happy forever, permanently. How can I get that? And what is the purpose of life? Why this material world is there? Who am I? Where have I come from? I'm living for these many years, or is there something beyond this also? After I die, what happens after death? All these very intellectual questions a human being can ask. Athato Brahma Jignasa, the Vedanta Sutra. So this is the purpose of human life. This is the purpose that we are in this material world and we have reached this human form. Now we have the developed intelligence. So the purpose is to understand who am I. The purpose is to understand, to address all these questions and to understand clearly that who am I, who is the Lord, why this material world is existing, why am I existing, what is the purpose of my existence, why am I existing, and then how can I rebuild or re-establish that lost connection with the Lord. So this is the purpose of human life. Now the third topic. So we have covered two topics. First one was, what was the first topic? We are discussing three topics. What was the first topic?
Why this material world
Created.
has been created?
Yes. So that was the first topic. So the material world is a place of transformation to again revive our lost relationship. And second topic is, what is the purpose of human life? We have covered so many lifetimes and then reached this human life. What is the purpose? Now the third topic is how to achieve that purpose.
Going back to Godhead.
Yes. This is the purpose of life. Now how to attain that? This is the third
By
topic.
constantly remembering and chanting.
Yeah. So in the Vedic scriptures, there is a verse. I will show that verse here. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 3rd chapter, verse number 52. So here it goes like this. Kriteya dhyayato vishnam tretayam yajato makhai dvapare paricharyayam kalau tad hari kirtanat. So translation is like this. Whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga. So there are 4 yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and
Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga. So we are now in which age?
Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga, yes. So here it is explained that whatever result, the result of our spiritual activities, what are the spiritual activities in Satya Yuga? To attain the Lord, to attain perfection of human life? By meditating on Vishnu. By meditating on the form of the Lord. So this was the process. By following this process, by meditating, sitting and meditating for thousands of years, the living entities used to attain perfection. Now, when it comes to Treta Yuga, what was the process? The process was performing sacrifices, yajnas. So we can see big yajnas used to happen, and the whole day yajnas used to go. Right? We don't have so much time now in Kali Yuga. We are so busy. We don't have time to even chant and read Bhagavad Gita. What to speak of performing yajnas, which requires purity externally and internally. It also requires certain the pure substances. Ghee should be pure, and all the different required elements should be pure. But in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult. Right? Everything is mixed up and then contaminated. So it's very difficult to perform yajnas, and that too for a long period of time, and that too with perfection. It's not possible. In Dwapar Yuga, what was the process? Process was to serving the Lord's lotus feet, or in other ways we can say deity worship. So there used to be big temples, big deities, and then people used to worship the deities, and then they used to actually purify them, and they used to achieve the perfection of human life. They used to realize, self-realization used to happen. So self-realization is the goal of life. But the self-realization used to happen by these processes. In Satya Yuga by meditation on Lord Vishnu, form of Lord Vishnu. In Treta Yuga by performing yajnas. In Dwapar Yuga by deity worship, elaborate deity worship. Now we don't have that much time and that much purity also to do elaborate deity worship. Now, when it comes to Kali Yuga, it's very simple. Because people don't have time, and people don't have qualifications to perform all these different activities or processes, to follow these processes in the previous yugas. Now, what is the simple method given in Kali Yuga? Is Kalau Tad Hari Kirtanat. Kirtanat means to chant the holy names of the Lord, right? Lord Hari. to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is a simple process. If we try to chant sincerely in a prayerful mood and by clearly pronouncing the Mahamantra and hearing it as clearly as possible, automatically cleansing will happen. Krishna will do the job because Krishna is there as Paramatma. And it's mentioned that Krishna is non-different. Krishna has incarnated in the form of his holy names. He is non-different from his holy names. So when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this is the process in Kali Yuga. Automatically cleansing of our consciousness will happen and we will attain the perfection of life. We will attain self-realization. So it's a very simple process. We just have to chant. Now we can chant anywhere and everywhere, right? So it's a very simple process. They are not hard and fast rules to chant also. Obviously, if we chant in the morning, it's even more beneficial. But still, there are no hard and fast rules. Whenever we get time, we can chant, and in any place we can chant. So this is a simple process, and it's very, very simple process. If we are able to, with a simple mindset, if we are able to accept this and perform this process, then very for sure we'll attain self-realization in this age of Kali. This simple process is given. That's what Srila Prabhupada is explaining here. So in the age of Kali, Sankirtana Yajna. So now this is also Yajna, but this is by chanting the holy names of the Lord we are doing Yajna. Right? So Sankirtana Yajna, or the chanting of the names of the God, is recommended by the Vedic scriptures in the age of Kali. And to introduce this system, Lord Chaitanya appeared in this particular planet, on this planet. Lord Chaitanya is non-different from Krishna. He is Krishna himself. He is Krishna himself. He appeared in age of Kali, 500 years back, in a place called Mayapur, Navadvip. Yes, West Bengal. So there he appeared, and he introduced this, or actually Hare Krishna Mahamantra is there in the scriptures. But he started this movement of chanting, congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So he started this movement, and now we are actually following on the footsteps of the Lord, and following this particular process. So also there is a verse, as it is given here in the purport at the very end. It is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 32. Krishna. So it is a proof. Some people ask now, where is the proof that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself? Where is the proof? Here is the proof. And there are many other proofs. There are many other references where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is predicted that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna will appear in the age of Kali in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one of these proofs is in Srimad Bhagavatam itself. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagnai Sankirtana Prayaye Yajantihi Sumedasha. So here it is being told that people who are really intelligent, they will actually attain to this process. They will accept this process of Sankirtana Yajna. And Krishna will appear will appear. So Krishna Varnam Tvisha or Krishnam. Krishna Varnam means he is Krishna himself, but Tvisha or Krishnam means his complexion is not dark. Krishnam. Means its opposite. Krishna means dark complexion, because Krishna has dark complexion. Krishna means not dark. So actually Krishna will appear. Krishna Varna means Krishna himself will appear. Sango Pangastra Parshadam, with his eternal associates from the spiritual world, he will appear here, and with a astra. Astra means weapon. And what that weapon will be? That weapon will be Sankirtana Yajna. Yajna Sankirtana. And the people who will be intelligent, Sumedasha. Medasha means intelligent, and Sumedasha means very, very intelligent. Sumedasha. They will attain to this process. They will actually accept this process. And they will be purified and go back to Godhead. So Krishna will appear. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day is coming, which is Gaur Purnima, on 7th of March. It's very, very near. So we can actually meditate upon this, that Krishna has appeared in this material world as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and in the form of his holy names. So let's all try to take this process of Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy names of the Lord, this easy process which is given in Kali Yuga, which is recommended in Kali Yuga, very, very nicely. It's a simple process, and then all perfection, we will attain the perfection of human life. So with this, we will pause here. Any question or anything?
When there is a hesitation in getting up early morning, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, there is a way of getting rid of this laziness.
Yeah. So obviously, our nature is to get lazy, but actually, what will make us come out of our comfort zone and laziness is association of devotees. That is very important. I realized this, that when I used to stay in my hostel or outside association of devotees, it's very difficult to wake up early in the morning and to actually chant by waking in the morning, right? But it becomes very easy when we are in the association of the devotees. So association of devotees is the key. If let's say some devotee can call me, if I'm staying at home, he can call me that please get up, we can quickly get up and take bath and chant the holy names of the Lord. Or if we are fortunate to have association where devotees are actually staying together, right? And then inspiring each other to wake up early. If let's say I'm sleeping, I can see other devotee and I can get up. It happens. So when there is association of devotees, when every devotee is very enthusiastic to if let's say some devotee is very enthusiastic to get up early in the morning and chant the holy names of the Lord nicely, then I'll also get inspired. So association is the key. So let's stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you for attending.